Thanksgiving story time. Listen, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Sebastian and I spill pop culture tea videos every single day. But today is Thanksgiving and I wanted to do something a little bit different for you guys. I wanted to give you guys a story time. I know I received a lot of messages from a lot of you guys who are saying that you will be spending Thanksgiving by yourself and you're feeling a little bit blue, and if I could do something different. And I was like, girl, you know what? I think the best thing I could do is just make you laugh. And I think that's what I'm gonna do with this damn story time. Listen, I wanna say, first of all, that yes, today is Thanksgiving, but every day should be a day of gratitude. Every day should be a day of being thankful. And I have to say that every single day of my life, I am grateful and thankful for you. Now, if you are feeling a little bit blue, if you're feeling a little bit sad today, just remember that this is temporary, that the sun will come out tomorrow, bitch. The little redheaded girl said the sun will come out tomorrow, but you gotta hang on till tomorrow, come what may. You know what I mean? Listen, so if you are right now alone in your feels, or you're trying to escape from your family because they're driving you crazy, hang out with me a little bit, girl. I'm gonna do a little story time. So let's just jump into it. Listen, first of all, I want to say that, before I jump into it, girl, I really do want to I really do want to acknowledge this right now. Holidays can be very tough. I understand. And holidays can be very sad, and they can be very in your face and emotional, and just so many things will cross your mind in the holiday season. But I want you to know that you are not alone, that you are gonna be okay, and that I think that the most important thing for you to do is to create your own peace. So just remember that you are worthy of a good life, of a happy life, and of having mental and physical peace, okay? All right, now let's get into it. So listen, I've always been a helpless romantic, okay? I really have, I've been with my husband for 12 years. We got married very, very young. I think that, since I was a kid, I remember just always loving the idea of getting married, of the white picket fence, of being, a princess, and, the love stories. I've always been into that. And I think that it's important for me to acknowledge that, in my single life, the very short years I was single, because, I as soon as I started dating, and then just some years later, I met my husband. So it's like very short time. I did date, and, I did have a lot of different experiences dating. I had, a couple boyfriends, serious couple. I was very young. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. When you're a teenager and you have boyfriends, like, it's like you're playing house in a way, like it really is. That's how I saw it, at least. But I have a couple funny little stories that I thought about, because I've always, like I said in the beginning, bitch, I've always been like a helpless romantic, and I've always wanted to go the distance, but I've also had a very delusional side to it. So I kind of got a bunch of different stories of different things that happened to me with different boys, and I thought I'd just put it all here like a big mashed potato and just serve it to you guys. All right, let's just start this mess. Listen, one of the most embarrassing story time, I think, that moment that I think will forever haunt me. Like, sometimes I could be washing the dishes or showering or something, and then it just kind of pops in my head and I just get all embarrassed once again, is when I was dating this one guy. Okay, let's call him Jack. Why not, girl? It's kind of close to his name anyways, but let's call him Jack. When I was dating this guy named Jack, he was a great guy. We were in school, we were just kind of like getting to know one another. It was mainly our friends who were trying to like link us up, because we were like the two gay guys in the school. And listen, I must have been 16, 17 years old when Jack and I were starting to date. And Jack decides to ask me out on a date, and I said yes. Let's go on a date. And I've always had body issues and eating issues. I've always kind of been, I was always bullied for my weight and stuff. So I food and me, I was the type of person who I would never eat lunch basically in school, and I would go home and just fucking demolish my refrigerator. But I was like, I'm not hungry, and I was starving, or I would go into the bathroom and eat something. But I always had an issue eating in front of people. But anyways, Jack decides that invites me to the movies, and we proceed to go to the movies. I remember I remember very, very well that day. Like it's so crazy. I actually really remember everything. I went into a store with my mom to get my glasses fixed. Then I remember getting contacts that same day. Then I remember my mom and I going to lunch at this sandwich place that we loved. Then I remember staying in like the city or the town, because we lived in a very small town. And my mom went back home and she left me at night. She knew I was going to the movies with, with like my school friends, because it was Jack and me, and it was supposed to be a couple of our friends. Well, anyways, I go to the movies and I see Jack there. Now, mind you, I already had lunch with my mom, so I was like, I'm not hungry, like I'm good. When I get nervous, I get very hungry and I get very antsy. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, so Jack and I go into the movies, and our friends mysteriously decide not to show up, so it's just the two of us. And he gets this like huge, large thing of popcorn. And he says like, oh, you don't want anything? I was like, no, I don't want it. I'm like, no, I'm okay. Maybe just like something to drink. And I get something to drink, whatever. And the thing of popcorn is absolutely humongous. Okay, absolutely humongous. So we have like this moment before the movie starts where we're just like kind of looking at each other and like smiling. Nobody's really talking. Like this was like one of our first dates ever, 16, 17 years old. Like I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. So I start getting the hunger. I start getting the stress, and I start getting antsy. And he's like, oh, I think we can go in. So we went into the movie, and then while the trailer is going, he says, I have to go use the restroom. Are you sure you don't want anything to eat? Anything, it doesn't matter. I'm like, no, I'm not hungry at all. He got the big tub of popcorn. So he was like, hey, can you hold the popcorn? I was like, sure. So I'm sitting here holding the popcorn, and I'm looking, and he finally leaves, and I'm like, I'm just gonna eat a couple. Then I start getting in my head, and I start really like stressing out about things, and I'm just like, oh my God, like what if he expects a kiss? I don't know how to kiss. What if he expects, to do something else? I'm not doing nothing else. What if he's gonna hold my hand? Like all these things start, and I start just like stress eating, and I'm just like, I wish it could have been filmed. I could just picture my except being someone else watching me, and I'm just like, I don't know, like just talking to myself and eating and just downing this fucking popcorn like there's no tomorrow. Meanwhile, he is coming in. I don't see him coming in, and I'm literally, like at this point in time, having a full-on panic attack, and I'm just getting handfuls of popcorn, and I'm shoving it down my fucking face, and I'm literally, because it's a tub of popcorn, so I would move it around, and it would look like nobody ate. I was just like fucking stuff, and he's just standing there, and he probably stood there for a good minute and 20 seconds, just staring at me, doing all these movements and talking to myself, and just like thinking, like, and then he comes in and he says, hey, and I have my whole mouth fucking full of popcorn, full of fucking popcorn. Like, it was the most embarrassing thing in the fucking world. And he says to me, like, Sebastian, if you were so hungry, you should have let me know. Like, So I was like, no. My mouth was full of popcorn. I had to grab his soda to drink a little bit of, bitch, it was a fucking mess. Anyways, girl, listen. I don't think I've ever been so, I didn't know, don't ask me what the movie was about. The only thing I was thinking about was me being watched by him, stuffing my fucking face with popcorn after I told him 5 million times I wasn't gonna eat. And then comes the hand-holding situation, bitch, where I eventually dropped the fucking popcorn because I got so fucking, I've never held somebody's hand before. I did once. I did once. I did hold hands with a guy before, but that was different. This is different. So he was holding the popcorn eating. I was in my head thinking about all the fucking popcorn I was eating in front of him, not knowing that he was standing there. And he starts doing like the, here's like his armrest, here's mine, right? And then, you put your hand on the leg, and then you put your hand, I've never done this before. And then, you kind of like, do this, and, then you kind of try and move it, right? so, so he's holding his popcorn. He's trying to, get the nerve to hold my hand, and I'm doing the same thing. Bitch, tell me fucking why I had a reflex, and I just did like, I don't know why. I don't know why I did it. Like, just like, and then I just did this, and the popcorn fell down. And it was such a dramatic, huge ass fucking portion of popcorn, and it just splattered everywhere. So that is how a popcorn ruined my first date. We did not share a first kiss there. We did share a first kiss like a week later, but it was definitely not there. Actually, I didn't think that we would ever talk again, because I really went the distance. But in our relationship, our very short-lived relationship, I actually did end up losing my virginity with him, by the way. That's another story. But he was such a nice. We laughed about it, right? Then I immediately can come up with another embarrassing thing. I was with a friend in 7-Eleven, this couple, like a year, maybe 2 years later, I don't know, a year later. And we were in 7-Eleven together, and there was this guy that I had been talking to online. And my friend was like, we should meet him in 7-Eleven so you're safe, and he's not like a murderer. And I was like, okay, cool. And so her and I, we decide to drink, and we decide to get tipsy before going to the 7-Eleven. So we did. We were drinking whatever we found. We found like some Smirnoff Ices. We found like wine. We were just downing shit. It was like 4 p.m. And we got to 7-Eleven kind of tipsy. We really sure did. So we met there at the 7-Eleven, and we're by the Slurpee machine, and we're making our own concoctions of like alcohol with Slurpee. So he approaches, we say hello, and immediately thought he was so cute. He was, just like he in the pictures and everything. So we're like, okay, perfect. And he's like, are you guys drinking? It's 4 p.m. Like, are you guys well? And we're like, no, yeah, it's just we're celebrating. And we invented some bullshit story. I don't know. Because it was on a Tuesday or something. So we took off from school and everything just to like be able to, to meet this guy. And so, she had the house to herself. So, we said to him like, hey, what are you doing like later? And she goes, you should come over. We're going to be like hanging out. We're probably going to go out to some bars later because we're already drinking and we're celebrating. I don't know if we lied and we said it was her birthday or something, probably. And then he was like, sure, I just have to go home. And I have to go home, and then I'll come. Just send me the address. I didn't believe he was coming. I was like, he's not coming, bitch. Anyways, so we're at her house and we're partying, we're having a good time, and we're, and at this point in time, as we walked from 7-Eleven to her house, I was happy. Then in her house, after an hour, after 2 hours, I was like, you know what, girl, fuck that. And then, the music, I will survive. I didn't even like him anyways. He was ugly. I said all these crazy things, and then all of a sudden, ding dong, ding dong. Mind you, we've been drinking since like 2 p.m. It is now 8 at the evening or something like that. It was nighttime now. I was on another planet, bitch. I was next to Xenon, the girl of the 21st century, fucking twerking in space. Zoom, zoom, zoom. I was having a great fucking time. Anyways, so we get to so I open the door, and it's him, and he brought like a bottle of wine, and he brought this. We were fucked up. I mean, it was giving very much Snooki, Lindsay Lohan, 2007. Like, we were done. I don't know where I was, bitch. Next thing you know, because when I drink, I like to do choreographies, especially Britney Spears choreographies. So next thing you know, I vividly remember in them sitting on a couch and me performing for them like I was Britney Spears live in Madison Square Garden. I mean, you could not convince me otherwise I was not Britney Spears. I think I did the whole tour. I think I did even the slow songs, okay? I remember gyrating on the floor to Toxic while they're just staring at me. And I don't really know what happened in their minds, but I just remember kind of flopping around on the floor to Toxic and being very much, you know, I went and got aluminum foil so I can put it as a microphone. I sang and danced my heart out. You know, they paid for tickets and I was gonna give them a damn show. And so I did. I think I performed for a good hour. I really did. I performed for a good hour. I performed all her greatest hits. I performed everything I had to because they're paying guests. You know, they're my fans, and I wanted them to have the experience of Britney Spears. And so I thought to myself in that very moment, I was like, you know what? This is not a healthy environment for me. No, but for real, it was the funniest thing because I just remember, like, after I performed, you know, it's that kind of quiet, that with my aluminum foil, like, I think I put a t-shirt on my head, so it's like long hair. I did the most. I sang I was like, oops, I did it again to your, like, I did the whole thing. And I was also doing live versions. You know, I was singing along to Britney because, you know, I didn't want to lip sync. After that whole show, I said I did it. I absolutely did it. I am the reason I will forever be single. He gets up and he says, you know, he claps and he gives me a hug, gives her a hug, says he had a great time, but he has to go to work. Left almost immediately after my performances were done, an hour concert, okay? Next thing I know, you know, I said, bye. And then she goes, Sebastian, there was no stopping you. Sebastian, I was giving you all the faces for you to stop. And I just remember telling her, what do you mean? She goes, Sebastian, he sat and watched you for an hour performing Britney Spears. The first day, hours after he meets you for the first time. This is never going to work out, Sebastian. Like, what you literally caused this relationship to never happen because what you just did. And I was like, what? And I was like, why did you let me? This whole thing, bitch. The next morning, he doesn't text me at night. The next morning he texts me and he says, Sebastian, I don't know when was the last time I had such a great time. Can we see each other again? Okay, bitch, my performances were amazing, okay? Anyways, girl, listen, that's just part of the little bit of the embarrassing things that I always go through, best friend. But it's just part of the universe, part of the world. And just, you know, it's just, you just gotta be yourself. But I love you all so much. I hope you enjoyed these little story times. If you want some more, let me know. But just remember, you are not alone. I love you. I'm grateful for you. I'm so thankful for you. You guys mean the world to me. And I just want you to remember that you are worthy of a beautiful life and that all of your dreams are gonna come true. I have that feeling. I know it in my heart. Chin up and be blessed, and I love you so much, and I'm so grateful and thankful for another Thanksgiving with you, and I can't wait for more. Bye.